Good morning, everyone. Another beautiful day to get up and enjoy God's creation. This is another Lakeside Chat. Just so you know, the lake's right there. But there's no table right down there for me to sit on, so I'll borrow this one. Let me get this where I need it to be. Okay, I'm sitting outside of a uninhabited yurt. These have doors like you'd have in a motel room. You got to punch the code in to get in. So if you wanted to get outdoors and not be outdoors, you could do something like this. These, I think, are around $75 a night. Motel rooms, for the most part, are there and up. So you can stay outdoors for roughly the same price you could in a motel. And you don't really have to have anything, maybe a bedroll of some sort, sleeping bag, or sheets and blankets, whatever you want to carry with you. And most campsites have something like this. We're moving on Friday, and the site we're going to has, these are basically tents over a wooden frame. They have what's called Adirondacks, which are basically just wooden frame buildings, not with sheetrock, but just single walls around it, and you can go inside, and again, it's the same thing. You can set up your bedding in there. They've got platforms for that. You need a foam pad or something. Okay, so since this is a Lakeside Chat, we're just going to kind of talk about some general things. Now, I tell you all the time that I prepare for these pretty much daily. Occasionally, God will give me a message one day in advance or two if I'm traveling or something, but I don't have one for Saturday, because I'd have to do it on Friday. It doesn't take long. I mean, I'm looking at 30 minutes to record a whole video. So if I get up early on Friday, I can still record a video, upload it, and then start packing. We have till noon to be out. And we got an hour drive to the new place, so we really don't have any hurry. Okay, so what's going on in the world? I'll get to how I do my stuff here in a second. I just kind of want to hit some headlines. There's impeachment talk again. It's all talk. They know they cannot impeach him. We're talking about Biden. To impeach somebody, and we've already seen this before in our previous administrations, you've got to have House and Senate. We only have House. We don't really have the control to do anything. All we can do is control the purse strings. And most of our Republicans are on the same boat as the Democrats. One world government. So they're not going to get rid of this puppet. He's easy to control. So you may hear more on that, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. On the other hand, Biden, who's continuing to be puppeted properly, sent $12 billion to Ukraine. More money to a country that didn't like us before all this started, but they're attacking Russia, so he's helping them. He's pissing off Russia. But Russia doesn't care, because they know we're being imploded from within, so they just have to wait it out. And they're doing kind of the right thing from the point of view of the one world government folks. They want to destroy all countries so that they all come under the umbrella. So they're sending them dollars. And as soon as they crash the dollar, they will have nothing. And their systems will crash. So it's well planned. It's not planned by Biden. He can't plan his way out of a paper bag. Okay, they're piling on with more indictments against Trump, this time from Georgia, and they've included a bunch of other individual, small people on the group. See, if you can challenge anybody that if you testify us, we're drop the charges, they can get people to testify. Even if they're lying, they don't care. In fact, if they lied against Trump, they'd probably get a medal somehow. They're doing anything they can. Now, they know that we're going to be watching closely the next election next year. But it doesn't seem that they're worried. If you're running a campaign, you're usually spending millions of dollars, if not billions, to be elected. It's never going to get better. It's not supposed to. We're told about it. So watch, though. You might get some more people step forward and say, well, I saw him do this and I did this for him when he told me to do it. And there's not going to be any evidence. There's never any evidence when you bring witnesses through that have very strong accusations. It usually gets thrown out. But it's the accusation. That's the important part. If they can get people to start doubting somebody. I mean, they did this with Supreme Court judges. How many witnesses came by and said, he molested me? And he got no charges leveled against him. They did what they needed to do. They got these people to back down. The judges that were running for the appointments. Okay, they still haven't completely settled our U.S. budget yet, so expect some more fighting on that. They keep delaying it. But see, the Republicans don't care whether it gets signed or not. They really don't care. They just don't want to look bad. So if they can find out a way to do this without looking bad, they will. Like I said, they're all in on this. Klaus Schwab has basically indoctrined most of our government. Okay. Right now there are approximately 300 top military officials, including 3 heads of services. The Army, Navy, and Marines don't have a leader because they won't approve them. They use various tactics and various reasons, but the bottom line is you don't do anything that's got to do with a social issue and hold hostage the safety of the country. It's against the Constitution, it's against sworn oaths, and they're still doing it. That's how bad these people are. And right after Biden sent the $12 billion to Ukraine, he was asked about the fires in Hawaii. He said no comment. That $12 million could have gone over there to help rebuild. Plane going over. What is it? That's some kind of a business jet. I had a scene at that airport where I was playing a chauffeur and I had to greet somebody getting off of a plane. They flew the plane in with video, but for real filming to make it tie in, they had a plane come in and taxi right up to where I was parked with the cab in the scene. So that was pretty cool. All right. So we can see that the world's continuing to fail. We've got more rapture predictors for this month. I think the 18th is the current high point. I wish you guys would stop doing that. It's not going to help anything for us to know what day we're leaving. People need to be working all the way up to that date. If we knew the date, everybody would shut down. Don't do that. My son, in his one medical problem that stress caused, is getting better. We forgot that his doctor recommended that he go on, see, magnesium and what was the other one? One of the B vitamins, so we got him a complex. So those two seem to be helping. When he goes in to donate, to do his plasma donation, they check everything out, and he's had some issues lately because of his chest pain, so this will allow him to go back and do that. So for those that were praying, we got answers by having somebody remember that he used to take this stuff, and it worked. He hasn't had an issue for over a year, but he's not happy that he's camping now. I love doing this, but he only wanted to do it part-time, or at least for a little while, but we're still doing it. I don't want to go get a sticks and bricks place. I may have to, but I don't want to. So I'm asking for God for help on that. So anyhow, things are, and he's also trying to get his disability. And we have an appointment on the 23rd. We got to be downtown Atlanta at 10 a.m. He doesn't normally get up till 10 a.m. He's still on Peru time. That's all right. We'll get him there. I'll have to get him up and he can sleep in the car. I'm up easily by that time, by 7 o'clock, which is what we'd have to get up, because we'd be an hour away. Okay, so here's what I do for my routine, just so that you know. I don't copy anybody. I don't even copy myself. After I finish with a video like I'm doing now, and I have some kind of notes, they go in the trash. So every day I have a fresh message. God inspired. So my day starts off with praying. Typically I start praying in bed before I even get up. Then I get up and have my coffee and breakfast. I'm still praying. Pray without ceasing. However you pray, that's the key. Some pray on their knees, some don't. I typically don't, because I'm talking to God constantly. And it seems like it's almost counterproductive to get down on my knees and pray. Mentally, yes, I do that, but physically I don't always. And part of the reason is my knees are bad. If I don't have someone to help me get back up, I might have problems. So anyhow, you can talk to God anywhere. And if you're embarrassed to talk to God in public, where you're praying out loud where people can hear it, just talk to Him privately. You don't have to be announcing everything. In fact, Jesus didn't like that when the Pharisees did that. They'd get on the street corners, blow a trumpet, and then do their prayers out loud just to get attention. So always be in prayer. I typically don't know what I'm going to be talking about until the night before. I have my little note program on my phone. I get a message. Something will come to mind. Things don't come to mind naturally for me. I'm not a creative person. So if it comes to mind and I'm praying, I know it's from God. So anyhow, I'll jot it down. Typically this is somewhere maybe early evening. And then a lot of times I'll be lying there in bed, either trying to go to sleep or waking up in the middle of the night with an idea. I'll pull it over and I'll write it down inside my note. In the morning I'll get up and go over all that stuff. I prepare it. I find the scriptures that go with it if I don't already have them written down. And then I open my Bible up and I mark all the pages. So I do all this before I get out. Now, right now I'm talking in a chat format. So I'm not really given Bible verses. I'm talking about God. I know who God is, so I can talk about Him without giving you a Bible verse. If you doubt something I say, look it up. Right now, Google is still okay. But eventually, you're going to look up something and say, Did God say this? Is this in the Bible? And they may lie. Right now, we'd catch them. And if we ever caught them saying that, people would run from Google. And they don't want that because it's their control. But once we're out of here, you better believe they're going to start lying about it. They're going to have these AI bots. There's supposed to be a Talk to Jesus bot out there. I haven't found it. I've talked to Chat GBT, and I've told you about that. I did a video a few months ago where I actually said, give me a sermon on this. And then I read for you verbatim the sermon. It wasn't bad. So the tools right now are still, don't trust them 100%, but they can be tools. Now, I did it for that one and I told you I was doing it, but I don't use it to come up with ideas. In fact, outside of that one time of testing it, I haven't been back on it. But the world is going to have so many ways to be influenced by the devil. There'll be no end to it. They've already got legions of people lined up around the world ready to move when they say move. With our open borders, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we've got 50 battalions of various organizations in this country ready to attack. Everything that our government is doing is for the purpose of destroying this country, because they can't have the strongest military and strongest country in the world around when they get ready to do what they're going to do. So you know that the money crunch is coming. I know it's coming, and it's keeping me from really wanting to buy. If the prices were back where they were, I wouldn't hesitate. I don't care if I bought a house the day before the rapture. Let somebody else deal with it once I'm gone. But I'm not going to pay 2 to 3 times what something's worth only to have it drop and have it be worthless and have me paying at the limit of what I can afford just to be in a neighborhood where I don't have to pack my gun with me. In Georgia, you don't even have to have a permit anymore. I had one for years. And I was an instructor. I'm ex-military. I was an instructor for rifle, pistol, and shotgun. I taught in the Scouts too. I taught them rifle and shotgun. I can't teach pistols to Scouts. We have a state that has declared assault weapons illegal. What's the definition of assault weapon? I could have an apple in my hand and hit somebody, bonk somebody in the back of the head. That's an assault weapon. They could make anything they want illegal if that isn't overturned. It was the Supreme Court of Illinois, I believe. It's completely illegal. But they know that the Supreme Court has to deal with it. So they may wait till there's a case come up. Because these people are so evil, they could have frivolous lawsuits and frivolous laws passed all around the world so the Supreme Court couldn't do anything. They'd shut them down. Because so far there's been no punishment for anybody doing stuff like that. The Supreme Court of Illinois should all be arrested and locked up and sent away for the rest of their lives for doing something against the Constitution. It's their sworn duty to follow the Constitution, and they're not. They should be locked up. Never allowed to ever do anything. If they ever get out, never be allowed to run for any office anywhere. If we did that with all the politicians that are crooked, we'd be without a government for a short period of time. Okay, so I sit down like I'm doing now. I record my video. I find a nice, comfortable place to sit, hopefully dry. It hasn't rained for 2 days, so we're there. I don't think it's going to rain today. It might this afternoon late. We build up these beautiful, there's nothing here in the sky now, but this afternoon we build up these beautiful, cumulus clouds go up way high, and then when the temperature drops, all that collapses and you get your rain. Rain is a pressure situation. As long as it's hot, it can hold more moisture. When it gets cold, it can't, and it has to go someplace. Very well designed. This is not happenstance. It's very well designed. Okay. After I record this, I go back in, I edit it and put in my comments at the bottom, scriptures, stuff like that. And then I upload it. I upload it to Rumble every day and once or twice a week to YouTube. For those that have not moved over from YouTube, I'm still posting, just not as often. If you want to see every day, you got to go to Rumble. Rumble's still improving slowly. It's a free site. They have ads and stuff on it just like YouTube does. They need to fix their tools better. Their app will not allow me to upload large files. So I have to go into my web browser on my phone and upload from there. And I have to keep it up. If I close it, it loses everything that it's done. It doesn't remember because it's a web browser. So I have to basically commit the upload before I want to do anything else on it. Where I'm at, it doesn't take long. And right now I'm not using Starlink because there's really no place to use it. I could set my antenna out over here where I'm at now, but I'm way up, I'm 100 yards up in the trees. I don't have a cable that long. This is Tuesday, we're moving on Friday to the next site. We've been there before. I'm kind of not wandering too much right now because I'm trying to make it easier on my son. He does not like change. So if we can stay in the same spots, we're okay. I've got to get him a job someplace. How are we doing on time? We're doing fine. I got to get him a job, but then he doesn't have a car. He sold his car a few months ago because he couldn't afford the maintenance on it. It's like, you got to get a job and you got to have a car to get a job. Why'd you do that? Young people, they don't have the experience. So continue to pray for this ministry on Rumble and YouTube, also Telegram, on Twitter. I have a presence on Facebook, but it's just family. And it's going to stay that way. Facebook filtered me long before YouTube did, so I dumped all my accounts. I deleted it basically and started over, and I only allowed family in. I got a couple of people in there that are not family, but they're close like family, so. Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same people. YouTube's owned by somebody else. These are all rich people. Even Twitter, X now, is owned by Musk. And it's supposed to be better, but I don't know. I haven't seen any problems, but I didn't really have any problems before. I didn't use it that much. We'll survive this. But you need to take care of your people. Make sure that everybody's going to be safe when you're gone. We've all got family that are not going to make it in the rapture. And I've talked about this before, and I keep getting asked about it. I might do another video on it. It's common sense. Talk to them as much as they will let you about God. And you don't have to say, God's going to send you to hell, and walk up to them and hit them over the head with the family Bible. That is not how to win friends and influence people. Tell them about your stories, and you better have some. It's like, I was really having trouble trying to do this, and I sat down and prayed about it, and boom, it came to me. I knew how to do it now. They don't have to believe it, they just need to hear it. Tell them stories about you going and helping people. Let them see what kind of person you are. So when you get abducted by aliens, as the news is going to say, they're going to go, well, this isn't a bad person. Why are they calling this person a bad person? Okay. Once they're uploaded, I just watch for comments. It's a little harder on Rumble to find out comments. I have to catch them in my email because there's no flag that pops up says you have a comment. So I have to look at it and see which one it is in Rumble, find out what video it is. So YouTube has a separate comment section, so I can look and find out. I can go right to the comment. They don't have that on Rumble, so that's one of the things I wish they'd fix. All right, till we meet in the clouds, continue to have a blessed week. Pray for me in this channel, myself and my son, and for our situations to be in God's will. Blessings. Well, the parking lot is pretty much empty. I think there's 3 of us in campsites. All these yurts are empty. See the sun starting to come up through the trees. Nice quiet morning. No kids in the play area. I think there's only one in camp. I put one of the campsites. I can see the bugs hitting the water and the fish coming up to get them down there in the water. Beautiful sight in the morning. We've got our pavilion. I'll come up here and do there's a little meadow up in there I can see. I'll come do my video. Blessings, everyone.